Looking for a great place to purchase Dragon Ball Super product? Look no further than Pro Play Games. They carry a wide array of singles and sealed product at amazing prices. Go to www.pro-playgames.com today.
Welcome back to the Mafuba Jar, where you've been sealed away for another amazing video. And today, we're going to be reviewing the entire card list for Dragon Ball Super Set 3 Cross Worlds. Now, oh boy am I excited for this set, guys. This card set has over 200 cards in it, which, at least for me, is the largest card set I've seen for any game, period. I'm not saying it's the largest set ever made for any game, period, but just from what I've seen. And oh my goodness, guys, there is so much in this set. Like, this set basically redefines the game, because we have stuff from like so many different eras. We have Dragon Ball GT cards, we have so much Xenoverse cards, we have like so many Android cards, Universe Survival cards, Majin Buu era. Calm down, Noel. Calm down. Whew. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just so excited for this set. Like, you have no idea. As you can see here, I'm on the official Dragon Ball Super card game website, and we're going to be going down here to look at the entire card list here. And from what I saw, I only took like a quick glance at this, so I don't know too much. So I'm keeping my reactions kind of legitimate here for you guys. So it was so hard to not look, but I figured it was just make the video that much better for you all. So it looks like we're going to be starting off with the GT cards here, at least from this first one here. Alright, so let's take a look at the new Pan leader card that we're getting. Like I said, I didn't look too much into this set list. I just took a quick glance at everything, but I gotta say, Pan was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. Because in the GT anime, I know she was kind of a main-ish character, but she was nothing like Goku or Trunks level or anything like that. So I wasn't really expecting too much from this card, but I gotta say, this card's pretty good. So it's a red leader card, and it's going to be a rare in a set, which is pretty nice. And her auto is once per turn when you play a battle card, choose that card, and it gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. Then, if its power is 20,000 or more, you draw a card. So it gives you a chance to draw cards before you awaken, and it gains power for that turn, which is really cool. And the fact that it's not color specific either, that just makes it a lot better in my opinion. And her awakening is also kind of cool too. It's a new way of awakening that a lot of these new leader cards from this set are going to have, is that when your life is at 4 or less, instead of drawing 2 cards, you choose up to 2 of your energy, you switch them to active, then you flip it over. Which, that's pretty cool actually, because while drawing the 2 cards has definitely gotten people games, or saved them from a tight spot, retapping energy can have the same exact effect. Alright, so let's flip over and see her awakened side. Pan ready to fight. Now, her auto is the exact same. When you play a battle card, it gains 5,000 power, 20,000 or more, you draw a card. Pretty cool. And her auto is when she attacks, you get to draw a card. So, really cool there. So, personally, I think Pan's going to have some potential as a leader, because she's a really good red support leader. Because while red has a lot of good, like, aggro cards, it is very lacking in support. And a leader like this definitely gives support to red battle cards. Just any battle cards in general, but more often than not, you'll see red battle cards play with her more than anything. But I could be wrong. We do not claim to be metagame geniuses here on this channel. We just really love the card game. Alright, next up here we have Dr. Mew leader card. Now, I didn't really bother looking at him at all, because at a quick glance, he didn't look anything special. His activate is once per turn you choose a machine mutant battle card from your hand with 5,000 or less power and play it. So, I guess it's kind of cool that you can play a machine mutant battle card for free as long as the power fits its requirements. And his awakening is the one we're used to when your life's at 4 or less, you draw 2 and flip it over. And his awakening is Scheming Dr. Mew. I will admit though, I do like this artwork, especially with baby in the middle there. I do like that. Now his activate main once per turn is the same exact thing, except it goes up to 10,000 or less. So, again, it's kind of cool that you could play a free machine mutant, and when he attacks, draw a card. So, I honestly don't see it seeing too much competitive play, but it could be fun for you, Dr. Mew, and general Rildo fans out there. Alright, now we're going to take a look at the first X or EX, however you want to pronounce it, evolution card, and that is Victorious Fist. Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. Oh boy, that was a mouthful. And the EX Evolve costs a single red, and you place one card from your hand in the drop area, on top of a red Son Goku GT with an energy cost of 5 or more. And this card has double strike, and its auto is once per turn when this card attacks, switches cards to active mode, and it gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So it's essentially dual attack, but better because you gain 5,000 power for a turn. So really, really cool. What is essentially a 6-drop turns into a 1-drop on top of a 5-dropper. Yeah, a 5-drop Son Goku GT. Which I believe, from what I've been told, there are ways to make this go quicker than just putting on top of a 5-drop, but let's see. Alright. So next up here we have Rising Fist Super Saiyan 2 Son Goku. And it looks like he is a 5-drop. And his evolution cost is 3 red and any other energy on top of a Son Goku GT. He's got double strike, and when a card evolves in this card, you draw 2. Oh wow, that's pretty good. You draw 2 cards. I don't know how much is going to see play, just because it is like a 5 or 4 drop. But maybe in the specific Son Goku GT deck, this will see play, just because being able to draw 2 cards is pretty good. It's essentially Prince of Speed, which Prince of Speed got played in a lot of blue decks back in the day, so who knows? Maybe this will be that too. We'll just have to wait and see. Alright, so now we have Determined Super Saiyan Son Goku. Now he is a 3-drop, 15,000 power with critical. Very good right here. And what critical does, for you people who don't know, it actually says it right here. When this card inflicts damage to your opponent's life, they place that many cards in the drop area instead of their hand. So critical is always a good thing in this game. And the permanent here is when your life is at 4 or less, increase the energy costs in this card in your battle area by 2. So this must be the one that my friends were telling me about. The one that where you can evolve into this guy quicker than just wasting a 5-drop Son Goku. So it's really cool. And oh, sorry, I went a little bit ahead yet. I think there is a Son Goku GT, but I don't think he's in this. I think he's in the structure decks, which I will be going over all the new structure deck stuff here too. But just the set stuff's gonna be first. All right. Next up here we have Pint-Sized Warrior Son Goku. Now he is a 1-drop, and his auto reads as such: when you play this card, look at up to the top 7 cards among your deck, choose up to 1 red Son Goku GT among them, and add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. So it's essentially Kind Saiyan Son Goku, except it's for red and for GT. So that's basically what it is, and sorry about that, I had a little hiccup there. So yeah, this is probably going to be like the main searcher for Son Goku GT decks. But we also have this guy here too, which I do remember reading a bit. Now, this is a 2-drop with a 1 combo energy cost that gives 5,000. And his auto reads as at the end of the battle, after you combo with this card, you choose up to 1 Son Goku GT with 5,000 or less power from your deck and add it to your hand. So, essentially, it just searches this guy here. But hey, being able to search a searcher, I mean, that's pretty good. Because there were times where I played blue Goku with the Kind Saiyan Son Goku, and I couldn't draw him, nor could I find like any way to search him either. So, again, I'm not saying this is perfect, but just the fact that we have a way to search our searcher, that's pretty good. At least in my opinion. Alright, so next up here is what I believe is going to be the first super rare on this list here, and that is going to be Fearless Pan. And she is a 3-drop, 15,000 power, and has the ability Blocker and the new ability Barrier. Now, Barrier is, like I said, a brand new ability to this game, and it's that this card cannot be chosen by the skills of your opponent's cards. So basically, I'll give you a perfect example for what that means. So, say your opponent plays down Kale, right? And the effect of Kale means they can pop battle cards of yours that add up to 5 energy or less. Now, your opponent's Kale cannot pick that Pan as a card to pop because it has Barrier on there. So, honestly, Barrier I think is going to be a pretty good ability. Blocker's okay too. So, for those of you who don't know, Blocker basically means that when your opponent's card declares an attack, you could switch a Blocker to rest and have that card attack that card instead. So yeah, Blocker hasn't seen too much play. Some decks do play Blocker, and there are some good blockers out there, like Android 16 and Yajirobe. But those are really the only 2 ones I can think of on the top of my head. But no, yeah, having blocker and barrier is pretty good. And her auto is, when you play this card, choose all of your other red leader cards and red battle cards. They gain 5,000 power and double strike for the duration of the turn. What? Man, they are making Pan like crazy support here. That is crazy. Like, I get the feeling that a lot of red decks that may not even have anything to do with GT are going to be playing Pan cards. Because that's pretty good. And the fact that it's only a 3-drop too. It gives everything other than her, everything else for your red at least. The double strike and 5,000 power. Like, that's insane. Man, I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with what they're doing all these Pan cards here. Because, like, among a lot of people, she was basically a joke in the anime. So the fact that she's getting good cards now, like, oh my gosh, guys, she's basically Champa in this. How Champa was a joke in the anime, but his cards were amazingly good. That's what they're doing with Pan here. She was a joke in the anime, but her cards are amazing. And right here, we just literally have a vanilla Pan. 1-drop, 10,000. Nothing to look at. Alright, now we're going to look at the first Trunks GT card here, and that's going to be Reliable Trunks. He is a 4-drop, or you could evolve him for just 2 red energy on top of a Trunks GT. So, evolve him for only 2. That's pretty good. And he has Critical, which is also very good. And his auto reads as, when you play this card, draw 1 card and choose up to 1 of your red leader cards or red battle cards. It gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So, another card to help support your red cards. Like, this is honestly the stuff red needed right here. Like, red has so much as far as, like, good battle cards just to smash your opponent's face in. Like, Jiren, Ultimate Gohan. Like, red has battle cards. Like, they're set on that. And it looks like this set, they're going to get the support cards they need to, which is awesome. That's so amazing. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to take a quick sip. Alright, so next up here we have Quick Rush Trunks. He is a 2-drop and critical. So basically this is the 3-drop blue Vegeta card that we've had since set 1. But I would say this one's almost better because it's the same power and the same ability, but for 1 less energy. But both of them have to be red, while Vegeta was a little bit more generic. I don't know, I would say both have their ups and downs. But just the fact that you can play this one for 1 less energy does make it a lot better. At least in my opinion. Alright, here, so we have now Dependable Robot Giru. So this card is a blocker, which, here you go. Even though I already explained what blocker was, if you don't remember, it says it right here. If you want to take a quick look at that. And his permanent is, if Pan is in your battle area or leader area, you can play this card from your hand without paying its energy cost. So it's essentially a Mai or a Videl, but for Pan. So that's pretty cool. Alright. And next up here we have Handy Giru, a 2-drop. And this is a super combo card. Now, very interesting about super combo cards here is that the cards that we know now, like Piccolo, Trunks, Dodoria, and Vados, those have been eroded as super cards. And what basically, you can only have 4 super combo cards in your deck. But I'm not really going to get too much into the whole super combo thing because we will be doing another video explaining all of the new rule changes and erratas to the cards in this game. But that's for a future video. Right now we're just focusing on the main sets here. And it even says right down here you can only include up to 4 cards with super combo in your deck. And the auto is when you come in with this card, if your leader card is red and your life is at 4 or less, you draw 1 card and it gains 10,000 power for the combo duration of the turn. So it's essentially the exact same thing as Vados, but in the form of Handy Giru instead. So that's pretty good. Alright, and now our first Oob card. Now this is a 3-drop, and it is double strike. So it's almost like the 4-drop Gohan double strike that we have, but it's 3 energy instead of 4, and I believe it's 5,000 less power, but still not bad. I don't think this one's going to see too much play, but you never know. Alright, next up here is Bodyguard Legic. Now this card is a 3-drop, 15,000 power with blocker, and its permanent is when your opponent has battle cards in their battle area and you have no battle cards in your battle area, you can play this card from your hand without paying its energy cost. So basically, it gives you a pretty beefy blocker, essentially for free if you don't have any other battle cards on your field. So that can be pretty good in a pinch. Alright, next up here we have Power Absorbing Lewd. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And its permanent is if parent is not under this card, it cannot attack. Its activate is once per turn, choose one PAL card in your drop area and place it under this card. This card gains double strike for the duration of the turn. So essentially, you want to take a parent in your drop area and place it under Lewd to activate to get double strike. So, I'm not going to say this is good or bad. All I'm going to say is, let's see what happens. Alright, so we have another Dr. Mew card. Dr. Mew under Baby's control. 1 drop. And the auto is when you play this card, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck. And you choose up to 1 machine mutant whose card name includes Baby among them. And add it to your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So it looks like we get some Baby cards here as well. That's interesting because when I did my quick glance, I don't really recall seeing any Baby cards here. But hey, this means we're going to get more Baby cards. Yay! Alright. So next up here is Meadow Rildo Perfect Form Perfected. Well, almost rip off a perfect form. Alright. And this is a EX Evolve card. You pay a single red energy. You place 1 card from your hand. And a drop area on top of a General Rildo with an energy cost of 5 or more. But it is essentially a 7 drop as well. Which I'm pretty sure you don't want to pay 7 energy to play this guy. And its activate is once per turn you place 1 Planet M2 from your hand or battle area in the drop area. And you draw 2 cards, then choose your opponent's leader card and it loses 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. Then choose all of your opponent's battle cards and it'll lose 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. What? Wow. So it has double strike and it can reduce the power of all of your opponent's cards on the field? That's pretty insane. I don't know how playable these machine mutant guys are going to be, but that's a pretty solid card. I'm not going to lie. Alright. Next up here, we're going to look at General Evolved Hyper Meta Rildo. Now, it's a 5-drop, 25,000 power with double strike, and it has 2 autos. The first one is when you play this card, choose all of your opponent's battle cards, and they lose 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. If a battle card's power falls to 0 or less, it is KO'd. Wow. So not only does it reduce battle cards by 10,000, but it can essentially knock out battle cards too. Which, dang. Just dang. And its second auto is when this card attacks, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 10,000 or less and KO that card. So it looks like the General Rildo cards are going to revolve around minusing your opponent's battle costs. Not battle cost, battle power. So, wow, we've never had cards like that before. It's pretty interesting. Alright, next up here is Hidden Ability General Rildo. And this is a 3-drop with Union Absorb. Wow. You choose one of each of Niez, Nat, Bizu, and Ribbit. Or Ribbit. Forgive me if I butchered up any of those names, guys. It's been a long time since I've watched GT. From your drop area and place them under this card, then you choose up to 1 General Rildo with 25,000 power from your deck and place it on top of this card. So there's Union Absorptions here too. So that's actually a way for us to get into our 5-drop here, which allows us to go into our EX Evolve. So that's pretty good to know that we don't have to worry about paying 5 energy just to have a card to EX Evolve into. Alright. Next up here is going to be Triple Union Super Sigma. And this card is a 4-drop and has double strike. And the activate main is place this card in your drop area. You draw 2 cards, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it loses 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. If the battle power rises down to 0, it's KO'd. So essentially, you attack with this with double strike. Then you place it in the drop area, you draw 2 cards, then you reduce battle cards to 10,000 or even KO'ing them. Like, wow. Again, I have no idea if cards like these are going to see a lot of play or not, but I will admit, it's very interesting to see. Alright, next up here is Commander Niaz. 3-drop, and this one has Union Absorb as well. You place one of each Abizu and Rebet from your hand or battle area under this card and choose one Super Sigma from your deck and place it on top of this card. And his auto is, when you play this card, if your leader card is Dr. Mew, you choose up to one Nat from your deck and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Oh, wow. So it helps you get into your Super Sigma here even faster. So you don't even have to pay the 4 entry to bring them out. Not bad. Alright, next up here is Mega Cannon Sigma Nat. And he is a 1-drop, and his auto is when you play this card, if your leader card is Dr. Mew, you choose up to one Bizu from your deck and add it to your hand. Oh wow, so it looks like all these cards can be able to search each other to make the Union Absorbs go by even faster. That's pretty dang cool. Alright, next up here, Mega Cannon Sigma Bizu. That's a 2-drop, and his auto is when you play this card, if your leader card is Dr. Mew, choose up to one Rebate from your deck and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. And a Dr. Mew essentially lets you play a 5,000 machine mutants for no cost, and his Awakening lets you put down a 10-drop machine mutant with no cost. Maybe I underestimated Dr. Mew a little bit here. I'll admit it. I might have underestimated him because a lot of these machine mutant cards look pretty dang good. Alright, next up here we have Mega Cannon Sigma Rebet, 2-drop, and auto, second verse, same as the verse. If your leader card is Dr. Mew, you choose one Niaz from your deck and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. Alright, now we're going to some Universe Survival cards here. Pride and Justice Topo. Now, this is a 4-drop card, and it's actually a counter attack too. So basically, you play this card and you negate your opponent's attack by paying 4 energy, bringing out this guy here. So, pretty good, pretty good. I don't know how often you're going to have 4 untapped energy during your opponent's turn, but it's pretty nice that you're able to be able to play him as a counter. And its permanent is, if you or your opponent's leader has 15,000 or more power, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. Okay. Okay, having 2 energy untapped is far more realistic, and that's pretty cool. And its auto is, when this card kills your opponent's battle card, switch it to active mode. Oh wow, so he almost works like Android 16. Except he's not a blocker, but yeah, that's not bad actually. I could definitely see people at least trying out this Topo in a lot of red decks. Now, it might have some potential to stick around, mainly because of his permanent being able to reduce it by 2, but only the future would tell. Personally, I don't think he's terrible. Alright, next up here is Unending Awakening. Now, this is going to be the first extra card here that we've seen here so far. Alright, and this is actually a counter card here. So it is a 1-drop, and counter attack, you negate the attack, then you choose up to one of your red Saiyan leader cards, and it gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. Oh wow, so it's only 1, and you let any Saiyan leader gain 5,000. It's not even, oh, it's red Saiyan. But still, there's a lot of red Saiyans out there, not even just a GT one, so pretty good, pretty good. I can definitely see this card being played alongside Vados' Assistance in red decks. I don't know if this replaces Vados' Assistance by any means, but it's still nice to have more counter cards out there, especially since it's just a 1-drop. Alright, next up here is going to be Grand Tour Spaceship. Now this card is a 2-drop, and its activating main is you look at the top 7 cards, up to the top 7 cards on the top of your deck, forgive me, and you choose one Son Goku GT, one Trunks GT, a Pan, or a Giru with 15,000 or less power, and play it. Then shuffle your deck. That's pretty good. Pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. And the fact that it basically allows you to search and play it too. So, yeah, not bad. I mean, I'm not sure how often you would use it for Giru, but having it for Goku, Trunks, and Pan is definitely pretty cool. Alright. Next up here we have Baby Subdual. Oh, look at, we are also getting some baby cards here after all. Alright, so it is a 3-drop, and all of them have to be red. That's a little strange, but okay. The activating main is, if your leader card is a machine mutant, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards with 15,000 or less power and switch it to active mode. It gains 5,000 power for the duration of a turn. Then gain control of it. Whoa. Okay, now I see why it's all three of them have to be red. Dang. And it doesn't even say like how. It doesn't even say you have to give control back, so it's like permanent control. I mean, it is kind of restricted, but with 15,000 power or less, but not that restricted. But still, that's pretty interesting. All right. So next up here is Planet M2. We kind of read about this earlier with General Rildo, but now we get to see what this card actually does. It is a field card. You place and activate this card in the battle area and remains in the battle area until another field card is activated. And the other way is when this card is placed in the battle area, if your leader card is Dr. Mew, you draw a card. So pretty interesting that it's basically right after you play this card, you draw a card. So it's almost like Majin Buu, but in field card form for Dr. Mew. And the activate battle is you switch this card to rest mode. If it's your turn, choose up to one of your opponent's leader or battle cards. It loses 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. And if a battle card's power falls to 0, KO it. So it kind of follows the power with all the other machine mutant cards. And it's just nice in general to be able to reduce power. Again, we've never had anything like that before, so I think it's very interesting that we're getting that now. And looks like that will be it for the red cards, and now we're going to go into our blue cards here. And our first one here is going to be the Majin Buu leader. I believe Japan's had this guy for quite some time, and it's pretty cool that we're finally getting him now. Don't quote me on that though, I could be wrong. So, again, it's a blue leader card, and the auto is when this card attacks a leader card, place the top card of your deck under this card. Then, if there are 2 or more cards under this card, draw 1 card. So, it's a similar thing to Cell, where you place cards under the leader. And the drawing thing, too, is kind of similar to Cell's Awakening side. But this is all on Majin Buu's Unawakened, so that's pretty cool. And his Awakening is when you life set 4 or less, you may choose up to 2 of your energy, switch them to active, and flip it over. So same thing with the panda we saw earlier. So like I said, a lot of new leader cards are going to be having this, which I think is pretty interesting. And oh man, look at that artwork. Majin Buu completely revived. Auto is once per turn, when this card attacks, place the top card of your deck under this card, then draw 1 card. So it kind of goes with the Unawakened side here, but there's a lot more. Activate maze, choose 5 cards under this card and place them in the drop area. Switch this card to active mode. It gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So, wow. So basically, it gives you dual attack with that plus power, but, and I don't know how often this would come up because you have to remove 5 cards from under it. But that activate main, guys, that's not once per turn. So, let's say you've got like, I don't know, 10 cards underneath that Majin Buu. Again, I don't know how often that would happen. But you could attack, activate the main, choose 5 cards, place them in a drop, he gains 5,000, he attacks again, boom, activate main again. So, essentially, you're giving him tri-attack almost, so again, I'm not saying you would do that often because that's extremely situational, but it's still pretty interesting to think about. Alright, now, this is another one I do remember reading a little bit in advance, and this is a very interesting one here. So this is the newest Son Goku leader. This is like, I don't know, our 5th one now? We've had a lot of Goku leaders. And his permanent is you can only place up to 6 energy. So his permanent is kind of somewhat of a restriction. And the activate man is you place 1 card in your hand in the drop area. If you have no energy, you choose 2 cards in your life and add them to your energy. So essentially this gives you 2 energy on your first turn as long as you don't put on energy from hand. And not to mention it gets you closer to Awakening. That's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. I don't know if that would replace the structure that Goku leader we have, but it's still very good. And Awakening is when your life is at 4 or less, you draw 2 and flip it over. And that's going to be, wow, look at that artwork. Heightened Evolution Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. And the permanent remains, you can only have up to 6 energy. His auto is at the end of your turn, you choose 3 of your energy and switch them to active. Oh. remember that. Wow, when I read this card, I honestly did not remember that. I'm not even kidding with this, guys. This is legitimate. What? When his card attacks, you draw 1 card. Okay. And the fact that it's not color restricted like the structure deck one either. Oh man. Oh man, oh man. Dang, with something like that, I almost don't think it matters that you can only have the 6 energy. Because all the main Goku guards are either set. I think like the highest Goku card we currently have is the Godbreak one, but you can evolve it for 6. So, wow. Okay. I take it back. I think this does replace the structure deck one by a long shot. Just because it's Awakened side. Just wow. Wow, 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 wow. And not to mention, even the Unawakened gets rid of 2 energy. We do still have the Dash Pack Sun Goku Super Saiyan Blue that also helps you towards Awakening too. So, dang. I can't believe I don't remember reading that auto. Wow. Okay, that's pretty good. Alright, guys. Probably the most anticipated card for me, at least, in this set. Ultra Instinct Signed Son Goku. Like, I'm not even kidding when I say this is probably one of the cards I want more than anything. Alright, so before I go into this card, there's a lot of new Blue Sun Goku cards we're getting, which I cannot believe they made them blue, because that just makes them so broken because of how quickly we can accelerate energy to get to the EX Evolve points, or even just to fit their energy cost in general. Like, that's insane. Alright, so his EX Evolve is 2 blue energy. He plays 1 card from your hand in the drop area on top of a Sun Goku with an energy cost of 5 or more, which that is absolutely nothing. Because as I said before, the Dash Pack, it's a 5 drop, but you can evolve him for 3 energy. We also have the Structure Deck Super Saiyan 3 Sun Goku. That's a 5 drop, but you can evolve for 4. So, when I say that is nothing, like, especially for blue, again, that, like, evolving on top of a 5-cost Blue Sun Goku is nothing. Which, yeah, that's why I cannot believe they made all these cards blue. And this card has Triple Strike. 35,000 Triple Strike. I'm not even surprised because it's Ultra Instinct. Like, it's Ultra Instinct. And its permanent is your opponent can't combo for the duration of this card's battle. So, not only is it 35 Triple Strike, they can't even combo out of this either. Which, if you attack their leader with that and they have no negate, they're taking Triple Strike. So yeah, and the auto is when a card evolves in this card, you return all of your opponent's battle cards into the owner's hand. So even if they have blockers on the field, which, boom, evolve, get rid of them all. So, yeah, this card is pretty insane. Like, I almost forgot that this was a 7-drop because of how easy it is to really bring him out. I still can't believe they made this blue. Like, that just breaks this card so much because it's blue. Alright. Now this is one I do remember reading completely from actually the preview video. Ultimate Spirit Bomb Sun Goku. Now this is a pretty interesting one. It's an EX Evolve, single blue, and you place 2 cards from your hand in the drop area instead of 1. It has double strike, and its permanent is your opponent cannot activate counter against this card. So basically it's an almost guaranteed double strike. And its auto is when this card attacks, you choose up to 5 battle cards in your energy area and you combo with them. So really, it's exactly as the artwork is showing here. This was like the final push against the battle for Majin Buu. This card kind of acts as like a final push in the game. So, and like, it does double strike too, so that's pretty cool. So you really want to play this card at the end when your opponent only has 2 life left. And it just gives you so much to combo with that I highly doubt your opponent's going to combo out of that. Because you've got whatever you combo with in your hand, not to mention your energy as well. Now, your opponent can't activate counter, but if they have a blocker, they can activate blocker. So be a little bit careful with that. And Again, I do think this is a good card, but I don't see anyone playing more than 1 or 2 of this because it's really only good to grab the game. Alright. Next up here, Furious Rush Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. That artwork looks pretty good. And it is a 5-drop and has dual attack. Once per turn, when his card attacks, you switch his card to active mode after the battle. So you basically attack twice with him. For those of you who did not know what dual attack is before, because I know we have a lot of new people coming from our Pokemon channel here that do not know very much about Dragon Ball Super. So those of you guys who are very knowledgeable and are getting annoyed with me explaining this stuff, I apologize. But I gotta help out our new guys here too. And its auto is when you play this card, you draw 1 card. So it's a draw 1 and dual attack. It's nothing great, but it's not terrible either. Alright. Next up, Final Explosion Prince of Destruction Vegeta. This is pretty cool. It's a 4-drop, 20,000 power, and it's got double strike. Pretty cool. And the auto is at the end of the battle, after this card attacks, place this card at the bottom of your deck, then choose any number of your opponent's battle cards, for which the total adds up to 5 or less and KOs them. So it's almost like we're getting a blue version of Kale, except we don't have to sacrifice a card for it. So pretty cool. And it's got double strike too, instead of... I mean, double strike and critical, it's kind of hard to tell which one's better, but hey, I'm not complaining. The fact that it's blue and the fact that we don't have to give up one of our own cards makes it a lot easier to play than Kale. So, definitely very good right there. I could definitely see a lot of blue decks playing this Vegeta. Alright. And next up, we're going to get into some of the new Supreme Kais here that we're getting. First one here is going to be Universal Leader Grand Supreme Kai. Now, this is a 2-drop God, so it is definitely searchable with Gowasu. And the auto is when you play this card, choose up to 1 battle card other than Grand Supreme Kai with a card that includes Supreme Kai from your deck and add it to your hand. So basically, it's kind of like hinting we're getting kind of a Supreme Kai archetype here. That is, lets you search other Supreme Kais. So that's pretty cool. So next up here we have Unyielding Defender East Supreme Kai. And this card is a 2-drop with Blocker and Barrier. So it can take the hits and it can't be targeted by your opponent's skills. Not terrible. Not terrible at all. Alright. Next up here is Majin Buu West Supreme Kai. That's a pretty cool name actually, I'm not gonna lie. It's a 2-drop, just like the other ones, and has Barrier, and the permanent is when you use this card to pay... You can use this card to pay energy costs... Wait. You can use this card to pay energy costs even when it's in your battle area. Oh, okay. I don't know why it didn't click to me for a second. So when this card's in your battle area, you could use it to pay a cost. I assume that means you put it into rest mode when you pay that cost to bring out a card. But, that's a little confusing. Again, that's what I'm assuming. But, who knows? There's been a lot of weird wordings and rulings with this game, so... Again, what I said is most likely true, but only time will tell for sure. When Bandai gives us a more specific explanation of that. Alright, next up is Majin Buu South Supreme Kai. 3-drop, 15,000 power with critical. Pretty cool. And the auto is when this card attacks, you choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or less and return it to the owner's hand. And any card stacked underneath that card are placed in the drop area. So... really, it's almost a better version of the blue Vegeta critical card we have as well. Because even though it's a Supreme Kai, its effect doesn't really require you to have Supreme Kais around to do anything. So I think that's pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. Alright, that's it for page 2. Let's go to page 3 now. Next up here is Majin Buu North Supreme Kai. And 2-drop, it has Blocker. And when you play this card, you choose up to 1 gun in your battle area when an energy costs of 3 or less and switch to active mode. So, kind of reminiscent to the Android 17 and 18 effects where they're able to switch each other to active mode. So, that's not bad. Alright. Kibito Kai's Attendant. It's a 2-drop, and activate mana. You switch this card to rest mode. choose one of your opponent's battle cards and return it to your hand. Oh, choose one of your battle cards, sorry. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards when entry costs 3 or less and return to the owner's hand. And any cards underneath it are placed in the drop area. So, basically, it's pretty decent spot removal. Not too bad. Alright, next up is Powers Combined Kabito Kai. And this is another super combo card for blue. And the auto for this one is when you combo with this card, if your leader card is blue and your life is at 4 or less, then this card gains 10,000 combo power. Then you choose up to one card in your opponent's combo area and return it to the owner's hand. Then, if there are no cards in your opponent's combo area, you draw one card. So it's almost like a combination of Piccolo and Jocko, except you're not guaranteed the draw. But otherwise, that's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, it's not as powerful as Piccolo if you're not able to get rid of all your opponent's combo cards, but it can still be pretty good in a heartbeat, definitely. It's gonna be very interesting to see the ratios of these super combo cards when this set's released. Alright. Next up here is Think He's the Best Hercule. That's a very interesting name. It's a 2-drop, and his auto is, when you play this card, if your leader card is Majin Buu, choose 2 of your energy and place them at the bottom of your deck in any order, then take the top 2 cards of your deck and add them to your energy. I suppose this can be pretty decent in certain situations, like say you were forced to place in your energy a card that you might have needed later on. So you can play the Hercule, put that card back, and play those to energy, I guess? I don't know. I'll be honest, this is a bit of a strange one. Who knows, though? Again, I am no metagame genius, so maybe there's some potential to this card that I'm just not seeing. Alright. Wait, what's this? Errata card. Oh, wow, so there was actually an errata placed with this card already. That's pretty interesting. So, the before was place them at the bottom of your deck and anywhere, then take the 2 cards. Then take the top 2 cards of your energy and place them into your energy. And the after is place them on the bottom of your deck in any order. And then, oh, so it's basically just a grammar thing. Okay. It was just a bit of a correction of grammar. And whoops, looks like we're back here. That's fine though, just one click of the 3. And here we are. Alright. So that was a little interesting to see that the Hercule already has an errata. Even though it was just a grammar fix, still interesting. Alright. Next up here is Agent of Resurrection Babidi. It is a 1-drop, and the auto is when you play this card, look at the top 3 cards on the top of your deck, choose one Majin Buu among them and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. What's interesting about this guy here is that the Majin Buu you could search is not color restricted. So we do have plenty of red Majin Buu cards already in the game. So this could definitely search those out too. So that's pretty interesting. Alright, next up here is Magician's Father Bibbidi. It's a 4-drop, and its permanent is all the Majin Buu in your battle area gain barrier. Pretty cool, pretty cool. And the auto is when you play this card, choose up to one out of control evil Majin Buu from your deck and play it, then shuffle your deck. Wow. So basically, you play this guy, then you get out of control evil Majin Buu. That's pretty cool. Alright, speaking of Majin Buu, we have another card that I saw from the preview video that I was like, what? Alright, the Ultimate Evil Majin Buu. It is an EX Evolve card for a single blue energy, and you place 2 cards from your hand in the drop area on top of a Majin Buu with an energy cost of 5 or more. Again, if I'm looking at this right, the Majin Buu you evolve these onto is not color specific, which is pretty interesting. This card has Triple Strike, which is very cool. And the auto is when a card evolves into this card, you switch this card to active mode and gains 30,000 power for the duration of the turn. So basically, you attack with the Majin Buu with an energy cost of 5 or more. Then you EX evolve into this Majin Buu. It goes to active, and it goes up to 60,000 power base. Like, that's not, again, 60,000 power base. That's not even including whatever you would combo with this guy. So, like Ultra Instinct Goku, this is also another insane card. And the fact that it's blue, too. So we have so many ways to accelerate this. Alright. So, right here is Out of Control Evil Majin Buu. That's the one that you could get out with Magician's Father Bibbidi. And it is a 3-drop, and it has Union Absorb. You pay a single blue energy, then you place one battle card from your hand under this card, then choose up to one blue Majin Buu with an energy cost of 5 from your deck and place it on top of this card, then shuffle your deck. And this card also has critical. So basically, that's another way to help you get into your EX Evolve quicker. I gotta say, something I'm happy about is that so far, with all of the EX cards that are being released that need a 5-drop, all of them have like cards that get out a 5-drop quicker than actually paying 5 energy to bring out something. So I'm definitely happy that they thought that far ahead with that, making these EX Evolve cards so much more playable. Alright, and this is Power Absorbing Majin Buu. Most likely going to be the target evolve point for your EX Kid Buu Evolve. It's a 5-drop, of course, and you can also evolve him for 2 blue and 2 colorless on top of a South Supreme Kai, which is pretty interesting because this is basically the time where he absorbed that Kai. And this card has dual attack, and his activate man is once per turn you choose one South Supreme Kai under this card, gain all of the chosen card skills for him for the duration of the turn. So it's the same thing as the red Majin Buu that we got from set 2 that was able to copy all the Son Gohan stuff underneath them. So it's cool that we're getting that in a blue form too. Alright, next up here we have Majin Buu Dawn of the Rampage, which is a 4-drop. And it is a Unit Absorb of 2 energy of any energy. You place one battle card from your hand underneath this card. Then choose up to one Awakening Evil Majin Buu from your deck and place it on top of this card. Then shuffle your deck. This card also has Barrier. And the permanent is when the card is under this card, the Majin Buu on top of that card gains Barrier as well. So basically, if you Unit Absorb with him to bring Awakening Evil Majin Buu out. Have we gone through that one yet? Oh no, we haven't got through Awakening Evil Majin Buu yet. Okay, so we might see Awakening Evil Majin Buu soon, or have we already? I'm trying to. That almost sounds like something we've seen in set 2, but I guess we'll find out in a bit. All right, next up here is God Absorber Majin Buu, another 5-drop, which is interesting. So this is technically also another target for us to evolve with that EX Majin Buu. And you can also evolve this guy for 2 blue, 2 colors on top of a Grand Supreme Kai, which makes a lot of sense. It has double strike, and the permanent is if this card would leave the battle area when there are any Grand Supreme Kai under this card, place all the cards under this card in the drop area instead. Oh, so that's pretty cool. As a way to prevent this card from being KO'd. Pretty cool. Alright. Next up here is the most evil absorption in history. It is a 3-drop, and the activate main is if your leader card is Majin Buu, choose one of your Majin Buu and one of your opponent's battle cards. Place the chosen opponent battle card under the chosen Majin Buu. That's pretty interesting indeed. Being able to steal that and also kind of working with this guy here too. Not bad, not bad. Alright. Next up here is Rebirth of Justice. It is a 4-drop, and the activate main is choose up to one blue card in your hand with an energy cost of 5 or less and play it. Then choose one of your opponent's battle cards and return to the owner's hand. So it lets you play a 5-drop card for 1 energy less, and it bounces one of your opponent's battle cards into the hand. And the fact that the battle card's not power restricted for your opponent, that's pretty cool. Again, since it's such a high cost for that, I don't know how often you'll see this card being played, but definitely interesting. Alright. Boo make you cookie! Yeah, sorry. That accent was horrible. I should be ashamed of myself. But it is a 1-drop card, and it is a counterattack. You negate the attack, then if your leader card is Majin Buu, you may place 1 card from your hand in the drop area. If so, choose one of your Majin Buu and one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or less. Place a chosen opponent battle card underneath the chosen Majin Buu. So, it's pretty cool to have a negate card specifically for Majin Buu, but by no means does this replace Whis. Like, Whis is just the best negate card in the game we have right now, so basically a free negate. So, In no way would this replace Whis, but it's like I said with the red negate card for GT, it's nice to have more options. And even though it's not really as good as Mafuba, in my opinion, because it makes the card useless for 2 turns, it is 1 energy less. So I could definitely maybe see someone playing the 4 Whis and maybe 2 of this as well in a Majin Buu deck. Only time will tell. Alright. And next up here, we are getting a brand new Vegito card, leader card here as well, which is pretty cool. Now we're getting into our green stuff here. His leader skill is when this card attacks a leader card, you draw a card. Oh, so you get the draw effect from a leader card without even awakening yet. That's pretty cool. And speaking of awakening, his awakening is when your life's at 4 or less, you choose up to 2 of your energy, switch them to active mode, and flip it over. Let's go ahead and see his awakening. Going all in Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, and there's quite a few effects on him. His permanent is during your turn, if your opponent has no battle cards in their battle area, this card gains 5,000 power and double strike. Not bad. And the auto is when this card attacks, you draw 1 card, then if your opponent has 2 or less battle cards, it gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So, basically it's a much more aggro Vegito leader card. Whether or not this replaces... I don't even want to say replaces, because a deck with this Vegito and the red Vegito we currently have in set 2, they're almost 2 complete different, like, not even just 2 completely different cards, but the way you build the deck around those 2 are completely different. So I'm not even sure if you could say this replaces that, because it's almost just like another leader, just because they work so differently. But I can definitely... I'm not saying this is a bad card by any means, but I'm just saying we have a different type of Vegito deck to build now. So, yeah, again, in my opinion, this doesn't really replace anything. It just gives you another option. Alright. And next up here, we're going to go into some of our Android stuff. First up here being the Android 13 leader card. And permanent is if Android 14 and 15 are in your drop area, you could activate this card's awakening when your life is at 6 or less. Not bad. Especially since it's pretty easy to get cards from your hand in the drop area, especially just use them as combo material. But we're also getting a lot of different ways to place those cards there as well with EX Evolves and all that fun stuff. And his awakening is normal. You draw 2 cards. When your life is at 4, then you switch. Wait, was the Vegito one? Oh, the Vegito was energy. It's, So it's kind of like a pattern here going back and forth between draw 2 cards and untap 2 energy. Alright, now his awakening side, Thirst for Destruction, Android 13. His auto is when your opponent's Son Goku or battle card with an energy cost of 6 or less is placed in a drop area from any area by one of your skills, this card gains critical for the duration of the turn, and when this card attacks, draw 1 card. So basically his awakening side is like a counter for Goku decks out there. So that's pretty interesting. It kind of necessary too with how much power Blue Sun Goku is getting with this set. But I think it's kind of cool they also added any battle card with 6 or less. So not to mention green has plenty of skills that can pop your opponent's battle cards. So you could almost guarantee this card's getting critical every single turn. So that's pretty cool. Alright. And next up here is going to be another EX Evolve card, finishing Spirit Bomb Son Goku. It's EX Evolve for a single green energy, and you place 1 card from your hand in the drop area on top of a green Son Goku. When energy costs of 5 or more, of course. The card has double strike, and the auto is when this card attacks, choose up to 3 green battle cards in your drop area and combo with them. So it's almost like a better version of Trunks. Except instead of triple strike, it has double strike, but still, it's pretty good. Essentially, you pay 1 energy to evolve him. So, not bad. Only thing I don't like is that it has to be a green Son Goku. And we don't have too many of those right now, but at least not what I saw. But we might have some green Son Gokus that will release with this, but we will see. So, again, I don't think this is a bad card. Oh, yep, there we go. Pressure Assault Super Saiyan Son Goku. Now, this is the 5-drop that we would need to EX Evolve. And his skills are dual attack, and the auto is when you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. So it's almost like the Gohan promo that we have, but it just costs 1 energy more. But then again, that Gohan is, even right now, incredibly expensive. And this is just an uncommon. So basically, for the people like myself, honestly, who can't afford that Gohan promo, we have this. We have this to make ourselves feel a little better. Alright. And next up here is Indomitable Spirit Super Saiyan Blue Sun Goku. And this is a EX Evolve as well. You evolve this card on top of a green Sun Goku with an energy cost of 5 or more. And there does not seem to be a cost to evolve this card, which that's pretty cool. So this card has Double Strike, Barrier, and his auto is at the end of your turn, you switch this card to active mode. So basically, your opponent can't always attack into this card while he's inactive and has Barrier too. I say not always because we do have cards even now that can attack active battle mode cards, specifically Jiren, because Jiren is very widely played. So I'm not saying putting him into active mode will guarantee he won't be attacked, but it definitely gives him a decent protection. And mainly the fact that we can EX Evolve this for free. That's not bad at all. Alright. Next up here we have Dauntless Spirit Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Another EX Evolve card. And this one's interesting because it's a 4-drop EX Evolve and it costs a single green energy. You place 1 card from your hand in a drop area on top of a green Vegeta with an energy cost of 3 or more. So far they've all been 5. But this one has a 3, so definitely a lot. You can play this one a lot sooner than most of the EX cards we have so far. This card has Double Strike, and the auto is when this card deals damage, you may place 1 card from your hand in the drop area. If so, this card gains critical for the duration of the turn. What? So when this card deals damage, he gains critical. Huh, that's interesting. I don't know. Am I just stupid here? Or am I not? Or is this not making any sense to me? The auto is when this card deals damage. I don't know. That might be another one that Bandai has to explain. Because by that wording, it's like after your opponent draws the life into their hand, then this card would gain critical. Because that's when the damage is dealt. So, again, I could just be an idiot and not be seeing the obvious solution here. But we'll find out for sure in time. Alright, now going to page 4. Unyielding Justice Super Saiyan 2 Trunks. That's another card that I really like the artwork on. It's a 4-drop, or we can evolve it for 1 green, 2 colors on top of a Trunks Future. Pretty cool that the Trunks Future is not energy specific, so very nice. It has Blocker and Barrier. Very cool. And the auto is when a card evolves into this card, you draw 1 card. So, not terrible. Nothing great, but nothing bad either. I could possibly see this played in the Trunks deck. Because even though there's a lot of new cards here, there's a lot of stuff here that supports old decks as well. Like, for example, the Trunks leader that we currently have for the Future Trunks arc. Or Blue Hair Trunks, as some of you may know him as. Yeah, there's a lot of cards that support that. I could possibly see this card being played in there. Again, I'm not sure. I would definitely at least be willing to try it out. Alright. Next up here is Trunks Bridge to the Future. It is a 1-drop, and his auto is when you play this card, you look at the top 2 cards from the top of your deck, and you choose 1 Saiyan among them and add to your hand to place the cards in your drop area. Wow. At first glance, that might seem underwhelming, but for those of you guys who've been playing this game for a while, you know how many Saiyan cards there are. And the fact that it's not energy color restricted, energy cost restricted, power restricted. It's none of that. You just look at the top 2 at any Saiyan. Any Saiyan. That's pretty insane. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm kind of happy that it was only the top 2. Because even like top 3 or anything more, that would have been absolutely busted. So, it's a fair restriction, but you're casting such a wide net with this. Like, it doesn't even say it has to be specifically Saiyan. It could be Saiyan Earthling, which there's so many of those like that. It could be Saiyan Alien, which we do have quite a few of those as well. So, again, it might sound underwhelming that's only the top 2 cards, but with the huge net you're casting with that, top 2 isn't really that much of a restriction whatsoever. Like, you're almost guaranteed to get something just because of how many Saiyan cards there are. Alright. Oh, let's get my voice a little bit. Sorry about that. Alright, next up here is Hyper Rush Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. Pretty cool that we're getting another Blue Vegito card. And before I read the cards, I want to say this card has a power of 25,000. And what that means is this is a mill target for the 5-drop red Vegito that we have. Because when that one attacks, you mill a top 10, then you can evolve into a Vegito with 25 power and switch to active mode. So this is a viable target for that, which that's pretty cool. So let me get into this card here. Unipatara, you pay 5 energy of any color, and it's a Son Goku and Vegeta. You place this card in active mode from your hand on top of the 2 specified cards. This card has triple strike, so pretty good. And the auto is when you play this card, if your leader card is what? Okay, here it is. If your leader card is Vegito. Okay. They didn't include it here for some reason. I gotta throw off a little second by there. If your leader card is Vegito, you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, up to one of the cards in your opponent's hand, place them in the drop. You choose. Wow. That's pretty cool. You place them in the drop area, then draw 2 cards, and you may choose up to 2 cards in your life and add them to your hand. Whoa! Dang, that's pretty brutal. And like I said, it's so easy to get this guy out because for that milling Vegeta, he's not color specific. So you could use the triple strike red Vegeta we have from set 2. You could use the blue tournament promo Vegeta we have. And now you can use this guy too because his power is 25,000. He fits that net that you could use. So, wow. Just wow. Sorry guys, I'm a little blown away right now. Because that's actually a very good card for the red leader Vegito deck. I'm not sure how useful this would be in the green Vegito leader. But definitely for the red Vegeta one. Absolutely for that one. Alright. Next up here is going to be looking at some of our new Android cards here. Dreadful Duo Android 17. It's a 3-drop and he has critical. And the activate main is once per turn, you pay a green energy. During that turn, if an opponent's battle card with an energy cost of 3 or less has been placed in the drop area by any one of your skills, you choose up to one Android 18 with an energy cost of 3 or less from your hand and play it. So that's pretty easy because again, so many green cards have skills to pop. So that's kind of what green does. So basically, when you activate this main, you're almost guaranteed to pull it off if you have the right cards in hand. Alright, next up here was Dreadful Duo Android 18, critical once again, activate main, pay a green, during that turn if your opponent's battle card with an energy cost of 4 or more has been placed in the drop area from any one of your skills. You choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 3 or less and KO that card. I kind of thought this would be the exact same thing as Android 17, but that's pretty good too. So having both these guys out kind of casts a very wide net on your opponent's battle cards for energy costs. So that's pretty good. Alright. Made to destroy Android 19 is max. It's a 2-drop. And the activate man is you switch this card to rest mode to choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards when energy costs of 2 or less and KO that card. I suppose that kind of works with Android 17 and 18 and some of the other green pop cards that you have, but by no means do I think this replaces the Android card we have from set 2, which is a 2-drop. When you attack with him, you draw a card, and that card gains 5,000 for the turn. So, again, my personal opinion, it doesn't replace that one by any means. Alright. Next up here, we have Dr. Giro, Evil's Inventor. And the auto is, when you play this card, you look at the top 3 cards from your deck, you choose up to one Android and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. This is the card we needed last set. Like, we needed this card last set for Cell. Like, don't get me wrong, the 2-drop Giro we have is good for these decks, but the fact that it couldn't search Cell, a lot of people didn't like that. So now we have a way to search Cell. So, not to mention almost any other Android we would need too. So, pretty good. I can understand why it's only up to the 3. Because Android, it's not quite... There's not quite as many Android cards that there is. There are Saiyan cards, but there's still quite a few of Android cards out there. Alright. Next up here is Stout-Hearted Android 16. And this is the green super combo card here. And the auto is when you come up with this card, if your leader card is a green Android and your life is at 4 or less, your opponent chooses one card from their hand and places it in the drop area, then this card gains 10,000 combo to its power for the turn. So, basically, I would say this would help in like Broly, Go Tanks, or... Oh, no, wait. Wait. I take that back. Your leader has to be an Android. Okay, this helps out Cell. Automatic replacement for a Trunks Protector of Children. Even though Trunks lets you draw cards, this reduces your opponent's hand size, which is what Cell is meant to do. So, definitely a good support card for there. Alright. Next up here we have Unending Destruction Android 13. It is a 7-drop, and this is not a EX evolve, surprisingly. It has double strike, and it has 2 autos. When you play this card, your opponent chooses one of their battle cards and KOs it. Oh, wow. Not energy or power restricted either. Pretty nice. And the second auto is when one of your opponent's battle cards is placed in the drop area by any of your skills other than this one, your opponent chooses one card from the hand and places it in the drop area. Again, that's pretty simple to pull off because it's green. That's literally what green does. So, more often than not, you'll be able to pull off the second effect if you're able to get this card out. No problem. Alright. Next up here is Dawn of Terror Android 13 with Union Absorb. Well, you can get this guy out pretty easy now. He's Union Absorb, costs 1 green energy, and you choose up to one each of Android 14 and 15 from your drop area. Place them under this card, and you choose up to 1 Android 13 with an energy cost of 7 from your deck and play on top of this card, then shuffle your deck. And the auto is when you play this card, your opponent chooses one of their battle cards and KOs it. Wow, that auto's on a 4-drop too. That's not bad. Not bad at all. So yeah, I take back what I said. You'll be able to get this guy out pretty easy. Alright. Now we're going to get into the Android 14 and 15 cards. Unfeeling Destroyer Android 14. Now it's a 4-drop with double strike, and the auto is when you play this card, your opponent chooses one of their battle cards and KOs it. If this skill is use a KO a battle card with energy cost of 3 or less, draw 1 card. Oh wow. So this kind of makes your opponent adds a little bit of pressure on there, because normally they would just choose to knock out a weak, useless card, but if they do, you get the chance to draw a card. So I like that. I like that a lot. Like, your opponent has to be a little bit careful about what they choose to knock out. I like it. Alright. Combination attack, Android 14. The auto is during your turn when you combo with this card, if your leader card is an Android, your opponent chooses one of their battle cards and KOs it. You have to pay an energy, and it's only 5,000, but still, that's pretty good. Pretty good indeed, and the leader card has to be an Android. We already have plenty of Android leader cards that are not Android 13. We have Android 17, we have Cell, and both are very good leaders right now, so definitely good support for them. Alright, next up is Unfeeling Destroyer Android 15. The auto is when you play this card, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and places it in the drop area. If that card was a battle card with energy cost of 4 or more, draw a card. Oh wow. I mean, I don't know how often this deck effect will be going off, mainly because of the fact your opponent gets to choose. But maybe the 4-drop is the one thing that they could afford to discard because everything else is too important. Or let's say that your opponent only has 1 card in hand and it's a battle card with 4 energy or more. Who knows? But I don't see this card seeing too much play as far as like just playing him on the battle area. I think you would mainly use him just for your Android 13 Union Absorbs and all that fun stuff. Alright, next up is Android 15 Just Saying Hi. His auto is when you play this card, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and places it in the drop area. Now, if I were to play one of these, I would definitely prefer this one. Alright, and another thing that I kind of somewhat read before, Terra Scythe Goku Black. I am so happy that they are bringing some more support to the Goku Black and Zamasu decks. Like, I don't care how good or bad they are, I'm just super happy that we're getting more cards for them. Now, he is a 3-drop, and I gotta say, I think it's pretty cool that they made him green, because the most common combination for Goku Black, at least for Goku Black, was blue and green, either mono blue or blue green. But I don't know if any colors were ever mixed with Zamasu, because I only really focus on the mono blue control, but that was just me. Alright, so once again, 3-drop, and as always, when you play this card, you play 2 Shadow Tokens. Shadow Tokens have 10,000 power, 0 combo cost, and 5,000 combo power. Then you may choose 1 Zamasu from your deck and add it to your hand. If you do so, choose 1 card in your hand and place it in the drop area, then shuffle your deck. So, pretty good. Like, even though it's a Goku Black card, it's a very good card for the Zamasu deck that we have right now. So maybe now we will have blue-green Zamasu, because that's pretty good. The fact that the Zamasu isn't power, the Zamasu you could search is not power or energy restricted either. So definitely cool. All right. Next up here is Twisted Justice Fuse Zamasu. It is a 7-drop, or you can Unipatara him for a single green energy and 4 of any other energy. He has Double Strike and Indestructible. Basically, that means nothing can KO him, and he cannot be removed from the battle area due to your opponent's card skills. So even the card skills that wouldn't knock out still won't get rid of him. Basically, almost nothing gets rid of Indestructible. So that's pretty good, and he has Double Strike too. And his auto is, when you play this card, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards or up to 2 of your cards in your opponent's hand, and your opponent places those chosen cards in the drop area. So this is, I gotta say, this is actually pretty good. Like, I don't know if you would see more play in the Zamasu deck or the Goku Black deck, but either way, this is a pretty good card. I don't want to say he's better than the 10-drop, but he's much easier to bring out. It costs less energy. And it's kind of nice that he has Double Strike. Like, I know with the 10-drop one, it's almost like a countdown, because even if your opponent negates the attack, the auto still gets rid of one of your opponent's life every time he attacks. But like I said, it's hard to tell. Both have their ups and downs. Like I said, the biggest thing with this one is that it's much quicker to bring this one out than it is to bring out the 10-drop one. And the fact for Yudi and Patara, only one of them has to be green. It's pretty good. Alright. This, oh man. I read a lot about this card right here. And honestly, I don't know how I feel about it. So it's a 2-drop, both green. And it is a blocker, Indestructible, and Barrier. So blocker and Indestructible alone sounds basically broken, and the fact that it has Barrier on top of it, so nothing gets rid of it, right? Look at the permanent. This card cannot be switched to active mode. Only 1 Evil Psych Zamasu can be played in your battle area. I mean, I don't know. I'll explain how I personally feel about a card like this. Personally, a card with blocker and Indestructible should never have been made, because it either was going to be too broken or almost unplayable. And that's what happened. I mean, I kind of take it back. It's not completely unplayable, because it helps with your Batara here. It does, so actually, I mean, the fact that you can only have one, okay, maybe I think I was looking at this card a little bit wrong, because I think he was just meant to be like an easy material for this guy here, or just any Fuse Zamasu in general with Batara. So maybe I was looking at him a little bit wrong. Like, I was focused more on the fact with all these amazing stuff here, and the fact you can only use it once. I'll be honest, I wasn't focusing on him being a material for this. Like, and a material that your opponent cannot get rid of by any means whatsoever. So, that's pretty good. Pretty good indeed. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. Alright. Now, another card here that I'll be honest with you, I'm looking forward to this card almost as much as I am looking forward to Ultra Instinct Goku. And that is Unstoppable Ambition Super Saiyan Khalifa. And this card is a 2-drop, buff green, and this card has 2 permanents on auto. Your opponent cannot, your battle cards cannot be KO'd by your own skills, and your battle cards cannot be placed in a drop area by your own skills. And the auto is when you play this card, you choose 1 card from your life and add it to your hand. So it helps you awaken faster, and basically, you pro players out there, you know what this is going for. This is going for the KO that we have in set 2. So, because how KO works is that you play KO, then you knock out one of your battle cards, and then you can choose your opponent's battle cards up to an energy cost of 5 or less and KO all of them. Basically, this lets you play KO without having to pop one of your own cards, which is amazing. Like, this card, honestly, there's tournaments out there right now that are giving out set 3 packs as part of prizes for that. And this card is like going anywhere free $25 and $30 right now. And I'll be honest, I don't see this card dropping too much in price anytime soon, even after we get set 3 released to the public. Just because of like how good of a combination that is too. And not to mention the combo that does with the new Kaba card that we're getting and the Dash promo set for this. Which I only know about the Dash promos from the video that they showed. I don't know if they released the Dash promo information on this yet. But we'll take a look after we're all done here. Because like I said, I am also going to be going over the new starter deck cards here as well. So next up here we have To Save a Hopeful Future, 4-drop. And the activate is you choose up to 1 green battle card with an energy cost of 5 or less in your drop area and play it. So basically it's a 4-drop Monster Reborn for you Yu-Gi-Oh fans out there for a 5-drop card. So not too bad. I don't know how often this will see play, but it's not terrible. Alright, next up here is Create Android for a single green energy. Activate main. If your leader card is an android, you draw 2 cards and place 1 card from your hand in a drop area. That's actually amazing. Because certain cards for certain android situations like Android 13, you want certain cards in a drop area. So it's pretty amazing. Alright. Speedy Surprise Attack is our next one here. And this is a counter attack. Negate the attack. Then if your leader card is an android, you may place 1 card from your hand in the drop area. If you do so, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or less and KO that card. Now, for Android decks, I definitely see this replacing full power energy. Definitely see it replacing that in a heartbeat. Alright, now we're going to go into our yellow cards here, which the yellow cards here are very interesting because they're not Frieza related for once. Alright, first up here is going to be a new leader, Bardock. And his auto is when his card attacks a leader card, you draw 1 card. And the awakening is when your life is at 4 or less, you may choose up to 2 of your energy, switch them to active, and flip the card over. So let's take a look at what he's got. And that artwork, though. That artwork. Alright, so he has 2 autos here. Let's take a look at them. When his card attacks, draw 1 card. Pretty standard. And the other auto is once per turn, when your Saiyan is KO'd, this card gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. Not bad. Not bad. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of yellow cards to support this, but it's not a terrible leader. Alright, next up here is Son Goku Yellow Leader. And technically, this is Son Goku Childhood. Some know this cannot work with other Son Goku cards out there, but we kind of already knew that. So his activate main is once per turn, you look at the top 10 cards from your deck, then choose up to 1 Bulma among them and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Pretty interesting, especially since that Bulma is not color restricted. And we have a lot of good Bulma cards out there. So a way to search out those Bulma cards is pretty good. And his awakening is when you have some 4 or less, you retap 2 energy and you flip him over. And his awakening side is Uncontrollable Great Ape Son Goku. And the activate man is once per turn, you choose one of your battle cards and switch to rest mode. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, switch to rest mode. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode. And that card cannot switch to active mode during your opponent's next charge phase. So, pretty interesting. And the auto is when he attacks, draw a card. Pretty standard. Alright. So next up here, we're going to see the first yellow EX Evolve card here, and that is Desperate Warrior Super Saiyan Bardock. His EX Evolve is you place 2 cards from your hand in a drop area on top of a yellow Bardock when energy costs of 5 or more. Pretty interesting that there is no energy cost to EX Evolve there, so that's pretty cool. His permanent is if your opponent has 6 or more energy in the rest mode, this card gains 5,000 power and triple strike. And his auto is when a card evolves in his card, choose all of your opponent's battle cards and energy cards and switch them to rest mode. So, that's pretty interesting. Pretty good. So, yeah, it looks like we're definitely getting some good. We already have a pretty decent Bardock yellow card here. Alright. Next up here we have Great Protector, Great Ape Bardock. And he is a 6-drop. An EX Evolve as well. You place 2 cards from your hand to drop area. Same as the other one. Has no energy cost for the EX Evolve itself, which is pretty good. It has blocker, double strike, and the auto is when a card evolves into this card, you choose your opponent's leader card in rest mode. That card cannot switch to active mode during your opponent's next charge phase. So it looks like the bar cards are going to revolve around keeping your opponent's cards in rest mode, which is pretty interesting. Alright. Next up here is Striker Bardock. Spardox, sorry. It's a 5-drop with dual attack, and the auto is when you play this card, if your leader is a Saiyan, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose one and add to your hand, and place the rest in your drop area. That's, for a 5-drop, that's, even though it's a 5-drop, that's a pretty good effect, not to mention dual attack too. Alright, and we have Gene, Family of Justice. Now, for those of you guys who don't know who this is Goku's mother. And I'm actually pretty surprised that they're putting Gine in this, considering how she's technically never been a part of the anime whatsoever. Like, I believe there was like a manga strip of Jocko where she was kind of introduced. But yeah, guys, this is Goku's mama. And she is a 2-drop with blocker, and the permanent is if you have Bardock in your battle area or leader area, you play the card without paying against energy cost. Okay. We've seen cards like that before. Not terrible. Alright. Next up here is Explosive Spirit Son Goku. It is a 3-drop. It has blocker and barrier. Pretty cool. And along with 2 autos. When you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. Wow, it's not even energy restricted either. It's pretty cool. At the end of your turn, you switch this card to active mode. Not bad. Not bad at all. So I'm deaf. So guess who's gonna switch over to the yellow side for set 3? Yeah, it's like this stuff. Like I said, all colors here have just got me so wrapped up into it because there's so much good stuff we're getting, and the fact that these aren't even Frieza cards that are like that was the happiest thing for me. Is that we're finally getting. I know I've already said this, but that's how happy I am about it. That we're finally getting yellow cards that are not Frieza, because all of the yellow cards have been like either Frieza or Frieza clan related, and it's just like, oh. Alright. Next up here is Rampaging Great Ape Son Goku. It's a 5-drop. Or you can evolve it for a 2 yellow or into any other energy on top of Son Goku Childhood. It has critical and blocker, so it's pretty good. And the auto is when a card evolves in this card, you choose up to one of your opponent's energy in rest mode. That card cannot be switched to active mode until the start of your next turn. So it looks like the yellow sand cards here all revolve around keeping stuff in rest mode, which very interesting. I definitely like it a lot. Alright. Next up is No Opening Son Goku. It's a 3-drop, and the auto is during your turn at the end at the end of the battle after you combo with this card. If your leader card is yellow, you play this card in rest mode. Then choose up to 1 card from your life and add it to your hand. Holy crap, that is really good. And the fact that it's just yellow too, it's not even, your leader doesn't even have to be a Saiyan, it just has to be yellow. So you can even play this guy in Frieza if you wanted to. Because it's literally a better version of the combo Frieza card that you put into rest mode. It adds a life to your hand as well. So, and the fact that it's only in common too, that's pretty amazing. Alright. Next up is Kakarot, the child who got away. It is a 1-drop, and the auto is... at the end of the battle, after you combo with this card, if your leader card is a yellow sand, place this card at the bottom of your deck. Okay. There might be something more that could go with this, but we'll see. Absolute Defense, Great Ape King Vegeta is next as a 5-drop, or you evolve for 2 yellow and any other energy on top of a King Vegeta. It's interesting. Has double strike, and its permanent is all yellow sand cards in your battle area gain barrier. And the other permanent is reduce the combo cost of all sand cards in your hand by 1. Oh wow, so if you have this guy out, then you get to play this guy without paying that energy cost and still have him in rest mode and add a life to your hand. That's pretty good. Alright, next up here is Lord of the Great Apes King Vegeta. And it's a 3-drop in the auto is when you play this card, you choose up to 1 Great Ape with an energy cost of 5 or less from your deck and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. So it's a way to search out the Great Apes. Cool. Very cool indeed. Alright, next up here is just Young Vegeta. I mean, it's cool to see Vegeta, but it's just a vanilla card, so nothing really to say there. Youthful Bulma. 1-drop yellow, and when you play this card, you draw 1 card. So basically, it's Majin Buu for yellow type, which is amazing because you all know energy boosted Majin Buu for blue decks is a huge staple. Now we have that in yellow form, and it's a Bulma, so this kid here searches him. So yep, I tell you that Bulma card is gonna be an automatic 4 of in so many decks. So many. Alright. Next up here is Hidden Power Great Ape Tora. So 4-drop with blocker and 2 autos. During your turn, at the end of the battle, after you combo with this card, choose up to 1 Tora in your battle area and evolve it into this card. Huh. That's interesting. And the second auto is when a card evolves to this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO that card. And with all the Bardock and Goku stuff we have to put our opponent's battle cards in rest mode, that can actually work pretty well. Alright. And here's the Toa we would evolve into. Wow, he's only a 2-drop too. It's pretty interesting. The permanent, and his permanent is if your opponent has 2 or more battle cards in play in rest mode, you can play this card from your hand without paying its energy cost. What? Wow. These yellow sand cards are pretty amazing, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I was kind of on board a GT train here, but I might have to buy train tickets for multiple decks here because I like this a lot. I like this a lot, and luckily we are getting many, many boxes of this to open up. So hopefully we'll have all that we need. Alright. Next up here is Hidden Power Great Ape Fascia. It is a 3-drop and has blocker and 2 autos. The first one is during your turn at the end of the battle, after you come up with this card, choose up to 1 Fascia in your battle area and evolve it to this card. So the same thing with the Tora one. Tora, sorry. And the auto is when a card evolves in this card, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards and switch them to rest mode. So, not bad. And here is the Fascia we would evolve into. She's only a 1-drop and she's a blocker. Not bad. Alright. Unwavering Solitary Shugesh. If I butchered that name, forgive me. And he is a super combo card. And when you combo with this card, if your leader card is yellow and your life is at 4 or less, this card gains 10,000 power to the combo. Then you choose up to 1 sand in your hand with an energy cost of 3 or less and play it. So that's pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Alright. I believe we're almost done with the yellow cards, then we'll be going to the black cards next. Alright, next up here is Unwavering Solitary Borgos. He's a 2-drop, and the auto is when you play this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode. That card cannot switch to active mode during your opponent's next charge phase. So it's following the pattern of everything else, keeping stuff in rest mode. And next up here is a young looking Nappa. Nappa Vegeta's Attendant. It's a 3-drop, and the auto is when this card attacks, if your opponent has a battle card in rest mode, this card gains 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. So, pretty neat. Alright. And Burgoning Power Bergamo. So we went from the old time Dragon Ball stuff here to now Universe Survival all in yellow. That's interesting. So he's a 3-drop, and he's a blocker. And his auto is, if this card participating in a battle during your opponent's turn, you may place 1 card from your hand in the drop area. At the end of the battle, if you do switch this card to active mode, and this card gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So it basically allows you to keep activating his blocker if he survives the battle. So, neat. Pretty cool. I like him. Alright. Next up here is Flying Nimbus. It is a single 1-drop yellow, and it is a counter. Negate the attack, then you may place 1 yellow card in your hand in the drop area. If you do so, your opponents can only attack 1 more time with battle cards for the duration of the turn. So it's really cool because even though yellow has a lot of counter cards, yellow never really had a specific counter attack card until now. And the fact that it's not restricted to just the yellow sands, you can play this in Frieza decks or Cooler, because I know some people like to play Meta Cooler. So definitely a good card to have. Alright, next up here is Planet Vegeta. It is a 1-drop for yellow field, and it has 2 autos. At the end of your turn, switch all Great Ape cards in your battle area to active mode. Wow. And the other auto is, when this card is placed in your battle area, choose up to 1 Saiyan with an energy cost of 4 or less and add it to from your deck, add it to your hand, then shuffle. Wow. That's actually a really good field card. I'm not even gonna lie. Alright. Next up here, March of the Great Ape. 4-drop, and the activate main is you choose up to 2 Great Ape cards with energy cost of 4 or less from your hand and play them. Then up to 2 Great Ape cards of energy cost of 4 or less from your hand and play them. Just draw 2 cards. So basically, instead of playing just 1 Great Ape, regularly, you play this card, play 2 Great Apes, and draw 2 cards. And it doesn't even say you have to put them in rest mode or anything like that. Like, wow. Okay, I can actually see this being played a lot. Alright, and now we're going to our black cards here. And from what I remember, black is the whole Xeno Overrealm thing, supposed to get some insane stuff this set. So, let's take a look at the first leader card we have here, and that is Mera. And his auto reads as such: when this card attacks, place the top 2 cards of your deck in the drop area. Then if there is a green or yellow card in the battle area or drop area, draw 1 card. So basically it's saying he's meant to work with green or yellow cards. And his awakening is, when your life is at 4 or less, you may choose up to 1 card on your warp, add it to your hand, then flip this card over. So we have yet another different method of awakening now. So that makes 3 different methods we have now. That's really cool. Alright. And now his Awakening Size Dark Warrior Merak. That artwork looks amazing. Very nice. Very nicely done, Dragon Ball. Making that amazing artwork. Alright. And his permanent is, if your warp has 5 cards or more in it, this card gains critical. Which, after experimenting with some of the Overrealm cards, with like just the ones we got from that Dark Demon set, having 5 cards in your warp is incredibly easy. So basically, this Awakening Size is critical. Let's just say he has critical. And his activate is, once per turn you place up to 2 cards from your top of your deck in a drop area, so it's the exact same. And when he attacks, you draw a card. So, yeah. Again, with how easy it is to get cards into your warp, with even just the Dark Demon Realm, like, special box thing, now with all this stuff too, yeah. He's basically a leader with critical with no cost. That almost doesn't count as a cost, guys, so that's really good. Alright, and we also have a new Trunks leader now, too. So that's really cool. So, he's just Trunks. No special name to him, just Trunks. His auto is, when his card attacks, play the top 2 cards of your deck in a drop area. Then if there is a red or blue card in your battle area or drop area, you draw 1 card. So, he's meant to work with red and blue. And the awakening is, when your life is at 4 or less, you choose 1 card in your warp, add it to your hand, and flip them over. And let's go ahead and do that. And again, that artwork looks really cool. Super Saiyan Trunks Protector of Time. That's such a cool name, too. And his activate is, once per turn, you place up to 2 cards of your deck into the drop area. And his auto is, when this card attacks, you draw 1 card. Then you may choose 5 cards in your drop area and send them to your warp. If you do, this card gains 5,000 power and double strike. for the duration of the turn. That works pretty well because his activate main, you place 2 cards in your drop area, then you attack, place them to your warp. So, yeah, not to mention there's that, and obviously when you combo with cards, you can place them in the drop area. And just, there's a lot of ways to get 5 cards in your drop area, especially with everything we've already seen in the set so far. So, very impressive, very impressive. Alright, and probably one of the best looking cards in this set in my opinion, Super Saiyan 3 Bardock Unleashed. Now, along with EX Evolve, we now gained Xeno Evolve, and this costs 5 energy of any kind, on top of a Bardock Xeno. So basically, the reason why it costs that much is because you play Overwhelm cards without paying energy. You just send cards from your drop to your warp. So that's why for Xeno Evolve, you pay the energy. Or you could obviously just put them down for 5 energy. But I believe all of the Xeno Evolve cards gain their autos when you Xeno Evolve with them. So he has Triple Strike, which, very good, very good. And the auto is when a card evolves into this card. If your leader card is black, you may choose 5 cards from your warp, place them in your drop area. If you do so, send all of your opponent's battle cards to their warp. And that, ladies and gentlemen, if this was a cartoon, my jaw would be hitting the carpet right now. Yeah. So basically, evolve, send 5 cards from your warp and put them into your drop area. So that kind of works with Trunks too. So, and all of your opponent's battle cards to the warp. This is not color restricted, energy restricted, power restricted, no restrictions. You send all of them there. This card has Triple Strike. I'm jumping from GT to the yellow Dragon Ball Saiyan and now Xeno. I was kind of on board with the Ultra Instinct too and all that, but oh man. Oh, my wallet is gonna hate me when this set releases, guys. My wallet is gonna hate me. Alright. Next up here we have Awakened Warrior Bardock. He is a 4-drop or Overwhelm 4. If you have at least 4 cards in your drop area, you send all cards to your drop area to your warp. Then you can play him, but at the end of your turn, you send this guy to your warp. Unless, of course, you Xeno Evolve into this. Because then it counts as a different card, and you don't gotta put anyone to warp. And the other way is, when you play this card using Overwhelm, this card gains double strike for the duration of the turn. So, not too bad. Alright. Next up here, we have Trunks, Power Overseeing Time. 4-drop or Overwhelm 4. You pay 2 energy for that. And he has double strike regardless of what you do. And the other is when you play this card using Overwhelm, you choose up to 1 battle card in your warp and add it to your hand. So you have ways to even recycle your warp now. So that's really, really cool. Next up here is Unrelenting Assault Trunks, an Overwhelm of 3. And the other is when this card is sent to the warp area from your battle area or deck, add it to your hand. So basically, you Overwhelm him after the battle ends or your turn ends. He goes to your warp, then he auto activates. You add him right back to your hand. So it's literally Unrelenting Assault. So that's pretty cool. All right, Supreme Kai of Time, World's Protector. Now this is the super combo card for black. And the auto is when you combo with this card, if there are 5 or more cards in your warp, draw 1 card, and this card gains 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. So it's basically the standard super combo card, which honestly, to me, there's nothing wrong with that. Alright. Next up here is Toa, Reprogrammed Menace. The Xeno Evolve 4 on top of a Toa. And the auto is when this card evolves into this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards when energy costs a 6 or less, switch it into active mode, and gain control of it. So basically, even though it's an evolve, it's a better version of the Toa that we got from the other villains box. So, very cool. Next up here, we have Toa, Space Time Unleashed, just a 1-drop. And the auto is when you play this card, look at up to 7 cards from the top of your deck, choose 1 Mirror or Mass Saiyan among them, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. So we have a way to search Mirror and Mass Saiyan now, so that's pretty cool. Alright, next up here is Dimension Breaker Mirror. It is a Xeno Evolve of 5. It's got double strike, and the auto is when a card evolves into this card, if you have 5 or more cards in your warp, choose up to 1 Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and set it to warp. Then you have 10 or more cards in your warp. Choose up to one of your opponent's energy inside and set a warp. Wow. Brutal. Alright. Next up here is Relentless Destruction Mirror. And it's an Overwhelm of 3. And the other is when you play this card using Overwhelm, your opponent chooses one card out of their hand and places it in the drop area. Not bad, not bad. Foo! Shrouded in Mystery. Now, I don't know if I'm missing a joke here or something because I have no idea what this guy is. Like, I am not playing to this name here, I swear. Like, even the heiress is unknown. So either he's unique to Dragon Ball Super the card game, or he's a Xenoverse character that I have no idea about. Feel free to tell me in the comment section. I think he's just unique to the card game, but I could be wrong. He is an Overwhelm of 10, and you pay 6 energy. And he's double strike, and the odds when you play this card using Overwhelm, your opponent cannot activate skills on cards other than their leader card until the beginning of your next turn. Wow. So, even though it's a hefty cost to pay, you really cripple your opponent by playing him. So, definitely a pretty good card there. Alright. Next up here is Shunshin Protector Majin. It's a 3-drop. It's got a blocker and 2 autos. When you play this card, place up to 2 cards from the top of your deck in the drop area. And the other auto is when this card is attacked, if your opponent's leader card is red or blue, this card gains 15,000 power for the duration of the turn. So, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool counter against certain decks out there. Alright. Next up here is Haru Attacker Majin. It has critical. It's a 3-drop. And 2 autos. When you play this card, you place up to 2 cards from the top of your deck in a drop area. Same thing as the other. And the other auto is when you play this card, if your opponent's leader card is green or yellow, choose up to 4 of your energy and switch them to active mode. Wow. Wow, that's pretty cool. So definitely for bigger tournaments, these Attacker Majins are definitely very good side deck cards if you choose to go black. Alright. Now we are on the final page here. Dark Plots, a 4-drop. Activate main. Choose up to 1 battle card in your warp when the energy costs of 4 or less and play it. If you use this skill to play a battle card with Overwhelm, choose up to 3 of your energy and switch them to active mode. So basically you take a card from your warp and play it, and if it has Overwhelm, you're basically only paying 1 energy for it, so that's pretty amazing in my opinion. And next up here is Time's Judgment. It is a counter attack. Negate the attack. Then you may place 2 cards from your hand in the drop area. If you do so, add this card to your hand. So basically, it's like a recyclable counter card, and it gets cards in the drop area, which helps out your Overwhelm cards quite a bit. And that does it for the cards coming out. Like, there's obviously not every single card was in this. Like, obviously not the special rares were in this. The secret rare is not in this yet. So I'm not even sure the secret rare was announced yet. But let's take a quick look at the starter deck stuff here, because this only shows the starter deck unique cards here. So let's go ahead and look at the red one here. We have our Son Goku, new Son Goku leader card. And of course it is the GT Son Goku. And his auto is when this card attacks a leader card, you draw 1 card. Quite a few of these leaders have had this effect, and that personally think it's pretty cool. And the awakening is when your life is at 4 or less, you retap 2 energy, switch it to active mode. So let's see what he can do. Pretty cool artwork, not gonna lie. I'm so glad I have one of each of these starter decks pre-ordered already. His permanent is during your turn when your life is at 3 or less, this card gains 5,000 power. And his auto is when this card attacks, draw 1 card, and if this card's power is at 25 or more, it gains double strike for the duration of the turn. So when you're at 3 life or less, you go to 20, and just combo with any card, he goes to 25, and he gains double strike. So pretty good. Not gonna lie, that's pretty good. Alright, next up here we have Broken Limit Super Saiyan 3 Son Goku. Another EX Evolve card for GT Goku. A single red, and you place 1 card from your hand in the drop area. And you actually put this on top of a Son Goku GT when energy costs of 4 or more, so it's less than the usual one, so that's definitely handy. And his auto is when one of your cards attack, this card gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. Then if this card's power is 4,000 or more, it gains triple strike for the duration of the turn. And notice that the auto is not once per turn, so every time one of your battle cards attacks, this card's just going to keep gaining power. And when you attack with him, if you're able to combo to 40,000, he gains triple strike on top of everything else, so that's pretty amazing. Alright, next up here, Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku. A 4-drop, or we evolve for 3 with 2 red and any other energy. On top of a Son Goku GT, he has Barrier, and his auto is when a card evolves into this card, or if you combo with this card, you draw 1 card. I definitely see him being played, mainly for the comboing parts. Because, be honest, which one's better? Being able to pay 3 to draw a card and gain Barrier, or just pay 1 to combo with him and draw a card? Personally, I would much rather combo with him, but that's just me. Alright. Next up here, we have Rushing Warrior Pan, 1 red drop with 2 autos. When you play this card, choose up to 1 of your red leader cards or red battle cards against 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So it keeps going with a trend of Pan being pretty good support cards here. And the other auto is when you combo with this card from the battle area, draw 1 card, and the combo cost is 0. So, yeah, these Pan cards are amazing support cards. Like, I almost want to take back every bad thing I ever said about Pan, because her cards are really good. Alright. Next up here, we have Chain Attack Trunks. He is a 4-drop, or you could evolve him for 2 red energy on top of a Trunks GT. And his permanent is this card can attack battle cards that are in active mode. Pretty cool. And when you play this card, choose up to 1 battle card from your hand with power of 15,000 or less and play it. And no, that battle card is not restricted, I don't believe. Nope. It's not energy restricted whatsoever. So it can be any amount of energy, any color of energy. It just has to have 15,000 or less power. So that's very cool. And that does it for the structure deck unique cards, because all the other cards in the structure deck are going to be cards that we're already getting or already have from previous stuff. So now let's look at our third star deck here. And that's going to be the Dark Invasion evolving around our Xenoverse cards. Now we're getting the Mass Saiyan Leader. And his activate main is once per turn, place the top 3 cards of your deck in a drop area. If you place a black card in a drop area with this skill, this card gains critical for the duration of the turn. And if a card of any other color is placed in a drop area, this card also gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. So basically, if we mill a black card and any other color card, we gain both critical and 5,000 power, which is pretty amazing. And his Awakening is when he lives at 4 or less, you draw 2 cards and flip him over. So he has the Awakening that we're used to. And easily one of the coolest leaders of the set. Well, not set, the structure deck, but still a very cool looking leader. Bardock Unbound by Darkness. Now his activate main is once per turn, place the top 3 cards of your deck. It's the exact same one as we just saw. So, and also you get to draw an additional card when he attacks. So pretty good. Not going to lie, that is pretty good. Alright, next up here, another structure deck exclusive is Killer Sword Trunks. It is a Xeno Evolve of 4. He gains double strike. And the auto is when a card evolves into this card, choose up to 1 battle card and you warp when the energy costs 3 or less and play it. So pretty good for recycling the warp once again. Alright. Next up here is Quick Blade Trunks, an Overrealm of 2. And that's it. It's basically just a quick, easy way to get an Overrealm card to get an additional battle card. So the card name literally implies what it is, just a quick attacker. Alright. Next up here is Encroaching Threat Mask Saiyan. It is a 4-drop, and this one is actually not an Overrealm one, so that's pretty interesting. And has 2 permanents. This card can attack battle cards that are in active mode, and the other permanent is when you've sent 7 or more cards to your warp, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand and warp by 1. Interesting. So if we've sent 7 cards to our warp, we could play him for 3. Not bad. Alright. Next up here is Power Aura Mirror. Power Aura. And he has an Overrealm of 3, and his permanent is when you have 3 or more cards in your warp, this card gains 5,000 power. And if you have 5 or more cards in your warp, this card gains an additional 5,000 power. So if we have 5 cards in our warp, he's basically at 25. So not bad. All right, and that does it for the other structure deck. And it does not look like that we have anything new for promotion. Let me click promotion quickly, but I don't think they've released the cards yet for the new Dash set of set 3. However, I could be wrong. Nah. Oh, actually, there are some new ones here. Yeah, well, this one we've known about for a while, so I won't really go look over him too much. But there are some new ones here. We've got Increasing Evil Masked Saiyan, an Overrealm of 4. You pay 1 energy. And his auto is when you play this card using Overrealm, choose 1 card in your life and add it to your hand. If you do so, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 5 or less and send it to the warp. So, not too bad for a promo there. Again, this card we've known about for a while, for quite some time, so there's not much point in me going over this one. And next up here we have Combination Attack Pan. Oh no, wait, these are the Dash ones. Sweet! Alright, so I get to show you guys the Dash packs too, the Dash promos we're going to be getting. Alright, so the first one is Combination Attack Pan. It's a 3-drop, and the permanent is if a Son Goku GT or Trunks GT with 25 or more powers in play in your battle area, you can play this card from your hand without paying its energy cost. Wow! And its activate man is once per turn, choose up to 1 Son Goku GT or 1 Trunks GT in your power area, and it gains 5,000 power for the duration of the turn. This, I don't want to say it's the best Pan card, but if you're playing a specific GT, Goku, or Pan leader deck, using the specific Goku GT and Trunks GT, then this is probably the best Pan to play for it. But all the Pans, honestly, are really good for their deck. Alright, next up here we have Piccolo the Strategist. He has Critical and Barrier, and his activate man is choose up to 1 of the opponent's battle cards with an energy cost equal or less to your energy and KO it. Then for the duration of the game, negate this skill. So basically, it's a way to pop one of your opponent's battle cards. So pretty cool. All right, now this is a Kaba I was telling you guys about, and this is the thing that makes the whole Khalifa and KO combo just so brokenly amazing. So he's a 2-drop. And his permanent is, while this card is played in your battle area, decrease the energy cost and specified green cost of Khalifa and Kale in your hand by 1. And by the way this is worded, do not quote me on this, guys, because this can very easily change. But by that wording, there's nothing saying that this doesn't stack. So if there's 2 of these Kabas on the field, you can reduce the energy cost of Khalifas and Kales by 2. Again, don't get too excited. Don't quote me on that. That's just what I'm gathering from this, but I could very well be wrong. And his auto is, when you play this card, you look at the top 10 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 Khalifa or Kale, and add it to your hand. So we have a way to search Khalifas and Kales, which is really good. And if the chosen card was Khalifa, you could play it instead. So you saw the Khalifa that I showed you guys earlier. That's a 2-drop. That basically makes it so your KO doesn't pop any of your cards. So not only can you essentially play that Khalifa for 1 energy, if you draw the Khalifa among those 10, you can just automatically play it right then and there. So yeah, this card is amazing. Like, the whole Khalifa Kale Kaba combo is just so broken. And like, now we can play Kale for 3 energy, which, and if we pull us out with the Khalifa and our opponent doesn't knock out either one of those 2, which hopefully, since this is a 2-drop, you get to play this card pretty early in the game. So hopefully there won't be too many ways your opponent can just pop those 2 cards. And then just literally by turn like 2 or 3, you could have Kale out, not pop any of your own cards, just nuke your opponent's field, and just have 3 really good cards out there. So yeah, I would definitely say this is the best one. The best Dash promo to get. Alright. And our final one here is Great Ape Prince Vegeta. Oh wait, maybe it's not the final one. Alright. Great Ape Prince Vegeta. He's a 4-drop, critical, blocker, and the auto reads as such. When you play this card or combo with this card, look at the top 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose one Great Ape and add it to your hand. If you do so, place one card from your hand in the drop area, then shuffle your deck. So it's another way to search Great Ape cards, so not bad. Definitely not bad for the Great Ape decks. Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, that was it. That was definitely it. So, as far as Dash promos go, none of them are necessarily bad, but I would definitely say the ones you want to get the most, in my opinion, would be the Pan and definitely the Kaba. Those are definitely the 2 I would recommend you guys get. Alright, guys, so that's it. Like, that does it for the Set 3 review and the new promo reviews as well, and along with the structure deck reviews as well. So, for those of you who stuck around the entire time, you are true veterans, and thank you so much for staying here with me this entire time. Had to get another drink of water, sorry. Man, I think I'm going to be losing my voice tomorrow. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And definitely be saving up for the set when it releases. And also, get on this website, guys. This is the official Dragon Ball Super website. And something I said earlier, look at the events and just search up like tournaments in your area. Because like I said, right now, there are tournaments going on that do give out Set 3 packs as prizes. So you could get this stuff like ASAP. Like there's already Set 3 cards on the market. So if you have the time and you're able to find one near you, definitely enter. It's worth it. Alright, guys. So, you are now released and hope you all have a fantastic day.